Myself Uma Maheshwari, Department of Computer Applications. Now I am going to present the concept of OOPS. Before getting into OOPS concept, we are going to see about the procedure oriented programming, because this is the core concept of OOPS, and we are going to correct the flaws present in procedure oriented using our OOPS concepts. In procedure oriented programming, all the larger programs are divided into functions and everything is mainly concentrated on the data. So that's why we get into the next concept of OOPS. In OOPS also, we divide the programs into larger programs are divided into smaller programs, but these smaller programs are invoked only with the help of objects. Without objects, your programs are considered as empty. These are some of the features of OOPS language. This is data is more emphasized than procedure, and also it is divided with the help of the concept called as objects, and also the functions are operated on the data of an object, and objects are communicated only with the help of functions. The data or the objects cannot be communicated individually, it can be communicated only through the functions. This picture shows three classes, class A, class B and class C, and all the classes are invoked only with the help of objects, object A, object B and object C. Each class consists of data and functions which work on the basis of data. So here the data cannot be communicated and it can be communicated only with the help of functions. These are all the basic concepts of OOPS: objects, classes, data abstraction and encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding and message passing. Object is the first concept of OOPS, because everything, each and every program or each and every class is invoked with the help of objects, and objects represent a person, place, bank account, whatever the data may be. Each and every data is invoked with the help of object, and all the functions including the data are also invoked with the help of your objects. It represents user defined data also, and also it is sufficient to know the type of message accepted and the type of response returned by the objects. Next we come into classes. Classes are like the body of a human, because here we design the data, code to manipulate the data, and also objects are the variables of the type class. These classes are invoked with the help of the objects, and also classes has been defined, and we can create any number of objects to invoke the class. A class can contain many number of objects. And a class is a collection of objects of similar type. Only similar type objects can invoke the class. For example, fruit mango. In this, mango is an object to invoke the class fruit. Next comes your data abstraction and encapsulation. The wrapping up of data and functions into a single unit is called as encapsulation. And also, when we come into the outside world, only those functions which are wrapped in the class can access it. And now coming to data abstraction, we represent only the essential features without including the background details is called as encapsulation. This encapsulation can be done with the help of methods or member functions, and the concept of data abstraction are done with the help of abstract data types, that is ADT. Inheritance is the most important concept present in OOPS, that is the property of your ancestors are maximum used and utilized by you and your children. Likewise the same, the properties of a class can be, that is main class can be used by the subclass also. And it supports a concept of hierarchical classification also, and also reusability is also done with the help of this inheritance. All the main class can be used in subclass also, that is data and functions can be used in subclass also. This supports deriving a new class from the existing one, and the new class can combine both the old class features and new class features also. Now coming to the concept of polymorphism, it is also an important OOPS concept. Poly means many and morph means form. The data and functions can take more than one form, we call it as polymorphism, and polymorphism can be obtained through a function overloading, operator overloading, etc. Because a function can be overloaded with the help of many types of data. Now coming to the concept of dynamic binding. Binding refers to the combination of procedure call to the code to be executed. And dynamic binding means late binding, which can be binded only at the time of execution or runtime. It is associated with the polymorphic reference, depends on the dynamic type of that reference. See, your data as well as the function are binded and executed only at the runtime, that is called as dynamic binding. Next we enter the concept of message passing, that is the objects belong to whatever the class may be that should communicate with each other. So for that we follow these steps. First we have to create a class which defines the objects and their behavior, and also next we are going to create the objects from the class definitions, and at last we establish the connection among objects so that these objects may communicate with one another, that is it can send or receive informations like the people message from one to another. Like how we communicate, likewise the same, the objects also communicate with the help of this message passing content. And this message passing involves specifying the name of the object, name of the function and the information to be sent. Because without these details, the message passed will not be collected at the correct reference. Thank you.